Hello and welcome to the next video of my LCK Preview series. We're covering DPlus KIA. Just a caveat, if you're going in the order of these videos, the Freaks video, I didn't put Rapid Star on there. The coach, it's in the description of that video if you'd like to see his record as a coach. Now, DPlus KIA, I have them ranked 6th going into the season. Top side of the Rift is very inexperienced, and that's why. Siwoo is the only rookie. So in that case, he's ranked 10th. So that's really hurting where they're sitting in the standings. The last 3 years in championship points, because I know they've been to Worlds the last couple of years, but in championship points, they are 4th, 5th, and 3rd the last 3 years. I think that's important to say. I don't, how they did in regional finals, great. You did great on one patch. How'd they look across all the patches for the entire year? That's what the championship points represent. So, Siwoo in top lane, these are challenger statistics. A very young player, 17 years old. Many people saying, well, Khan's teaching him, so that's going to go great. Yeah, we've seen great top laners, just they're wonderful coaches, right? Like we've seen time and time. No, not really. It's not. There's great players do not automatically mean they are going to be great coaches. Because sometimes players can't do what the coach was able to do. I mean, you look at even pro sports. I think of Michael Jordan. He was a terrible coach. I think of Wayne Gretzky. He was a terrible coach. Why? Because they're expecting players to do things that they just are not capable of because they are not the greatest players of all time. So there is that. And people need to think about that when they consider, well, it's automatic that this team, Siwoo is going to do great. I wouldn't just assume that. 3.5 KDA, 53.5 KP, 8.5 CS per minute. Not to take away from Siwoo. These stats are obviously very good. He's a great player. A good player, great prospect in his own right. And that doesn't mean that Khan cannot make him better. But it's weird. We're seeing like guarantees one way. And it just makes me feel uneasy. There's no reason to be so certain of something that I'd consider to be a uncertainty. 2.3 share differential, 1.46 ROI. Guy is a carry-oriented top at his best. He can carry a team. That share differential is representative of that. He's getting 8.5 CS per minute. That means he's getting a good amount of gold for a top laner, and he is dealing the damage relative to that, and that's important for this team. I think it's going to be a real benefit for them. 160 gold ahead, 2.89 vision efficiency, 22 champions in 121 games, is only 17 years old. I said this about Diable. I'm going to say it about Siwoo. Tomorrow could be worse than yesterday for him, and I really hope fans just shut the fuck up and let him develop. K'Sante, Renekton, and Jax, 45% of his games played. Now, as far as the rest of the top lane depth chart is concerned, Jayuk is going to be the challenger top laner. He's being promoted from Academy. He had a 3.8 KDA, 55.6 KP, 7.2 CS per minute, a 1.46 return on investment, 15 champions in 65 games. So he's getting promoted, and Janice is joining from Fear X and going down a level from Challenger to Academy. And you can see why. His stat line is, kind of meh. But then again, the team he was on, Diable was on it, right? 2.3 KDA, 51.8 KP, a 7.5 CS per minute. Weak side, not getting great stats there. Negative 0.5 share differential, 1.46 ROI, did deal a good amount of damage. But down 300 gold at 15 minutes, and that's the kicker, right? Every game he went even. There's a game he was behind 600 gold. 2.73 vision efficiency, 10 champions, 47 games. Then we have Lucid, who, in my opinion, was forced to do... It's a tough call, right? So, coming into this season, he's 9th. And it's because he... You have a situation where you have a player that, coming up through the ranks, he was better as a carry-oriented player. His stats indicated that he could take over games and be a great jungler in that respect. Now, when he joined DPlus, maybe, you don't want to saddle him with that load, so they made him more of a facilitator and allowed other players and veterans around the team to carry, and hell, they got to Worlds. So as far as I'm concerned, he had a great rookie season. I feel like many people compare him to Milky Way and how Milky Way did so well that Lucid was a bust. And it's like, that's not the case. FPX kind of played to Milky Way's strengths, where DPlus did not do that for Lucid. So Lucid, 4 KDA, 71, 1 KP, and a 5.7 CS per minute, which is pretty damn low resource-wise to other players in this past year's meta. Negative 5.4 share differential, 0.89 ROI. Not at all carry-oriented in that way. His champion pool was not, favorable for that situation. 20 gold ahead is good, though. He still stayed even with the best junglers in the world. 3.3 vision efficiency. That number is going to improve as he plays more and finds, how the whole macro bit of this game works. 17 champions in 125 games. 19 years old. Vi Maokai Sejuani, 54% of his games played. Behind him is Charvel. Charvel's a good player in his own right. I know last year I think I had him in my prospects video as a player to watch because, DPlus just rattle him off time and time again. Now, I feel like going into this year, it's hard to say the worst it's been, but I think it kind of is the worst it's been since I started doing these videos. And I wonder why that is, but regardless, Charvel, 5 KDA, 73 2 KP, 5.9 CS per minute, nearly 3 out of every 4 kills. Minus 4.3 share differential, just over 1 ROI, 50 gold ahead, 4.17 vision efficiency, 16 champions, 121 games. Preview is on the academy team. 4.1 KDA, 68 1 KP, 6.1 CS per minute, so not as involved as you'd like, below 70 KP. But a 1.2 ROI, so did deal more damage than both of the players above him. 16 champions, 73 games. Mid lane we have Showmaker, of course, world champion, talented player, very well known around the entire space. Last year kind of was a down year for him. Coming into this season, I have him ranked 5th in the LCK. 4.1 KDA, 67 3 KP, 8.7 CS per minute. So not as great, not super high resource. Aiming ate a lot of the resources, which is an aiming trait. Aiming is usually a high resource player no matter where he goes. Now Showmaker, 2 out of every 3 kills though, got around the rift and tried to make things happen. Positive 5 share differential, 1.55 ROI, which is also good. Those 2 numbers led the team. So he was the most efficient player when it came to damage to gold ratio for the team and himself on the squad. 10 gold ahead, 2.78 vision efficiency, 28 champions in 125 games, a champion ocean. 24 years old, Talia Azir LeBlanc, only 38% of his games played, which means less than 2 out of every 5 games did he play one of his 3 most played champions. Garden is the current second string mid laner. Had a 5.5 KDA, 70.4 KP, 9.1 CS per minute, and a 1.71 ROI, 13 champions, 73 games. I could see how he earned that promotion from Academy to Challenger to replace Saint. Aiming. So, Aiming is my MVP for last season in the LCK. I know he wasn't voted that, but he should have been that. He broke records. And that in and of itself, he broke like really important records actually. I think like the kills record and things like that. Like pretty big deal. It's kind of weird that he didn't get it. I guess off the rift things, that isn't weird. I could see why somebody wouldn't vote for him due to the off the rift problems. But if you are pretending like it was on the rift is why you didn't vote for him, I think that's kind of weird. Aiming had a great season on the rift. 6.4 KDA, a 71.7 KP team fought around Aiming. They made sure Aiming was present because he had the gold, he had the resources. Let's give him even more resources as he had 10 CS per minute. Second in his role going into this season. 4.8 share differential. So let's do the math. 9.8. 12.1. So 1.4, positive 1.4 share differential on this team. It's pretty good. There's enough carry threat if Siwoo is able to do what he did last year at this level. I doubt it, but even if he drops that 0.1 or Lucid gets better, we have a mix here where this team may have the right combination to have enough carry threat. 1.52 ROI, 345 gold ahead. This team's very good in the laning phase. Even when you take out Siwoo and pretend that he goes even and not 160 gold ahead, I mean, this team's ahead 540, 550, 570 gold ahead. If you add in Siwoo, it's 730 gold ahead on average at 15 minutes. And that's a lead that they could maybe, every game they go even, there's a game they're ahead 1,400. Who knows, even more. 3.06 vision efficiency, 20 champions in 125 games. 25 years old, Zeri, Kalista, Lucian, 37% of his champion pool. Wayne as the backup. Wayne had a good season, played solid, didn't die much. 6.9 KDA is obviously very good. 67.6 KP, 8.8 CS per minute. But due to that KDA style, we see a 0.3 share differential. That's very bad. 1.43 ROI, down 170 gold at 15 minutes. 2.53 vision efficiency, 14 champions, 62 games. Carfi plays on the academy team. 3.6 KDA, 69.8 KP, 8.8 CS per minute. And the opposite of Wayne in that he dealt 1.82 ROI. Personally, I'd rather have Carfi in there than Wayne. I don't like a player that's that passive. 10 champions, 29 games. Now, Barrel returns to the Damwon fold, former world champion with Damwon as well as now DRX. So, brings a shot-calling presence that they have been missing since he left. Ranked second in his role going into this season statistically. Had a 3.3 KDA and a 74 KP with KT last season. 3 out of every 4 kills. Very active. Negative 5.3 share differential. 0.83 ROI. Solid in the damage department. A little more aggressive than not. 195 gold ahead, just over 2 vision efficiency, 25 champions in 105 games. Is the oldest player on the team at 27 years old. Nautilus, Leona, and Alistar, only 37% of his games played. So really, honestly, looking at this team, the 3 veterans on the bot side of the rift are very unpredictable when it comes to champion selection, and that's an advantage that they have. Thumb will play on the Challengers squad. He had a 3.9 KDA and a 75.5 KP with Academy last year and a 0.92 ROI. Very involved, very aggressive, and that's what you like and what I like out of a support. 15 champions in 55 games. Bangy is listed as a head coach. Bangy is 25-11 in the regular season as a coach. 69% win rate, 9-9 in LCK playoffs, regional finals. And then at Worlds and MSI, 22-13 for a 63% win rate. So I think this team's pretty good. I have them ranked 6th. I think that's the floor. Certainly a team like this projected to go to regional finals. They could easily go to Worlds as a 4 seed. I think that's entirely possible. With their current roster, they're about where they've been. Nothing's really changed, except they're getting younger, which means theoretically they should get better as the year goes along. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it, subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and hope to see you again tomorrow.